You know, there is a rule for politicians all over the world. It is this: don't say in power what you say in opposition. I hope you got that right. Opposition politician and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2023 elections, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has criticized the federal government's proposal to use the 20 trillion naira pension funds for infrastructure projects, labeling the plan as illegal. But a group, the Independent Media and Policy Initiative, IMPI, has accused the former vice president of raising a false alarm, as well as employing manipulative logic and lies in its criticism. The federal government assures, however, that the pension fund is safe. Asokwa.
Yeah, our opposition politicians, sometimes they should also be looking at, the books rather than, bringing out.
You mean the facts?
Yeah,
Facts are sacred. Only comment is free.
Yes, of course they can make comment, but being factual is key. Because once you begin to peddle rumor or fake news,
when you twist facts
or misinformation, okay, you begin to let people begin to hate the government for no reason.
Okay.
Especially, we are just 1 year after the election, the general election, and so many people are still aggrieved.
Still hurting.
Yes, up till now. They've not moved on. And so...
Asokwa, it is natural.
No, I know it's natural, but the thing is there are some things that you should just move on, and try and see how you can walk your way again, if at all. Like somebody like Atiku, will he be coming back again? The only thing he will just be doing is just for him to be causing this kind of problems where there are no problems, Because if you look at the pension, yes, this is pension fund. You have a pension fund. You are you have pension. Yeah. I have. But it will be foolhardy, or it will be very unwise for the government to say, let's just keep the pension. If there's a section in the Pension Reform Act that says that pension funds can be used, can be invested, okay? And it is not just being invested in anything, but they have even put it there in black and white, what you can invest in, which is bonds and securities.
Yes.
And who has the bonds and securities? It's the federal government or the CBN. We sometimes, even individuals, will buy bonds, and it is even more safer to buy those bonds. So if the federal government is saying, okay, we want to pick from, they are not picking everything. The Act also gives a percentage which can be used as investment.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure this government will be so...
5 or so percent.
Yeah, no, even 2%. I think 2% of the total pension fund, or 5%.
5%.
Just pick 5% and invest.
5 of 20 trillion.
Yes. Just pick 5%, invest in bonds, in that security. And then from there, once the thing gets to the bonds, that is where the federal government will now use it and invest in the infrastructure they are talking about. So if tomorrow now, these same people that are shouting, if tomorrow the federal government starts to invest in this security, in this particular investment, and say, okay, let's start tolling, they will still be the ones to complain. They will still be the ones to complain. So the government is just trying to see how they can reduce the hardship and the inflation that is going all around. So we know that nothing can happen. Everybody, this is our pension. Everybody is opening their eyes. Nigerians are more wiser than before, that somebody will just come dip hand somewhere. No. Yes, it's good that he's asking for details. And that is where I also want to go. The minister, the coordinating minister for the economy, can also come and say, okay, fine, this is XY amount that is in the pension fund. We are picking 5% and we are going to use it, for this. Communication is key.
So if the opposition picks that aspect, according to it, it should state it as it is.
Yes, but not going left, right, and center and saying it's disturbing, it's distressing, we don't want all those grammar. Mr. Minister, you know what the Act says. It says 5%. Make sure you pick only 5% of our pension fund, and also make sure that it is used for bonds and security as stated in the Act. Simple.
Yeah. Okay. Charles, you have any contrary?
Well, for me, I think no matter we, like Atiku or not, we can't just wish away what he has said. Of course, he's a Nigerian, and he has the right to also task this government. I mean, if he hadn't brought that out now, not many people would have understood that the government is also planning to also take from there.
No, he said it.
I'm saying so. But I think what I have a problem with...
But as I said, twisting facts.
Yeah, I understand. What I have a problem with, you see, I think information management of this government still has a problem. I mean, let's look at it. This government, no matter how well-intentioned its actions and programs are, the information management of this government has a problem. Look at the cybersecurity issue that, you know, I mean, the furor that it generated until the president said, okay, let's just halt it. It wasn't well, you know, coordinated. It wasn't well, you know, taught to people for people to understand. Some of this is you have to do a lot of sensitization. For instance, like what we were talking about, that the Pension Reforms Act 2014, and the revised regulation of the investment of pension, that's pension access, issued by National Pension Commission. What it states is that pension funds can invest no more than 5% of the total pension funds in infrastructure investment.
Yeah.
But we also know that whether it's 18 trillion or how much, about 20 trillion, but 75% of it's already invested in securities and all that. So what government needs to do is that it's a good, because it's like a dormant thing that's all just hanging there. The government can even use and then generate it and also pay back. Because many the workers don't all retire at the same time.
At the same time.
There are people who still have about 16 years to go. There are people who still have 20 years to go and all that. So it's safe for government to say, okay, well, let me pick from it before these people will retire. The thing would have matured and then put it back. But when it is not well communicated, that's where the problem is. So an Atiku is now feasting on it.
When there is no information, as we say in this business, rumors will
thrive. Exactly. So an Atiku is feasting on this issue of, twisting the whole thing, and now government is now struggling to now explain some of these things away, which of course they ought to have done earlier. Just like what they are doing, the CNG we have talked about. See how they are going to places explaining beforehand. I mean, people are beginning to get involved, and they are beginning to get interested in it because they are being told what to expect. So that's exactly what I think this government should try. They should work on the information management so that we don't have all these front and back issues.
And at the same time, opposition politics, yes, must let you know it is there.
Yes, it's there, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
In fact, we need opposition, because that is the only way the democracy can be, existing, and even make sense. Because no democracy would exist without opposition. A credible and a viral opposition.
Yeah.
Not an opposition that tomorrow they will start being toxic and violent. No, we don't want that. We want opposition that, okay, at the end of the day, you can state your facts. If you have your facts, bring it to the table, and let the government begin to, just like he's saying, issue about communication is very key in every government, any government at all. So before any government policy comes in or comes out, somebody has in the government has to say, okay, fine, we are planning on XYZ. Okay, this is what we intend to do. This is how we are going about it.
Every doubt is
removed.
Immediately.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The opposition will still come back there. They can still come and say, there are some questions that we also need to ask.
It makes it richer, and then engagement will be there.
Engagement will start.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? So not that they will just go to one public place and then they will just say it, and everybody will just.
And you expect everybody to be aware.
Everybody will be shocked, and then from there it will now generate a lot of, uproar, and everybody will begin to say, well, why? This is my money. Why are you taking my money? Blah blah blah. No. So we need the opposition, but let the opposition be the ones that will help engender good democracy. That is the only thing.
For instance, in an addition, the way Atiku is taking it, Atiku is taking it as if his government wants to steal it.
No.
But Atiku is not letting the people know that there's a law. Extant law that you can borrow from
their government is
not more than 5%.
Exactly.
He's not saying that.
So that's saying that.
Charles, it is not in the place of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
To say,
But that's part of the
but it can also, but you know that thing still can generate a lot of violence because of that word still. Because if you go and look at his own statement, it's distressing, it's disturbing. They want to steal. Oh, you can't use all those words. Because if I'm home, I'm a retiree and
you say your money
wants to steal my money.
Of course.
Or I want to retire.
You get incensed.
Exactly. Immediately, because the first thing I'll say, what have I enjoyed in this government?
Which is why this government has to be ahead
of
in terms of information management and all that.
You know? So
dissemination information.
We are not saying there shouldn't be opposition, but let the opposition know the kinds of words they use, you know, for them to.
Charles, it is not that you want a job.
From where? No.
From there.
No, I have a job already.
Okay.
I have a job I'm doing. What I'm saying is that I'm only trying to help the government to know what they should do or do better. If, for instance, all this thing we are saying now, it have been communicated properly, we won't be here talking about this thing today. I'm not looking for government jobs. If that's what we are saying.
Charles, government has people who should do things like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's just,
I'm managing a radio station for now, so let's leave it at that.
Don't worry, I'm not going to court. Don't worry. So it bears repeating here that, yes, opposition must be credible and keeps government on
their toes. Exactly.
It's natural. And government, by the same token, must bridge these gaps.
And cover those loopholes, exactly. So that you don't leave doubts in the mind of people.
Anybody,
yeah, there are so many fantastic.
You don't leave doubts in the mind of people.
Fantastic policies from this government, you know, but communicating it in the right way is another problem.
Ahead of time too.
Very, very important. Before it comes out, tell people this is what we intend to do. We just said something about the CNG. Going meeting stakeholders.
Sorry, may I drop this here? Are we in any way missing the National Orientation Agency?
No, they have the agency now. They have the agency.
I know. Are we missing?
Well, I'm sorry. I hope what I'm saying is not going to be offensive to people, so some people. As a journalist, I've not heard that National Orientation in the news for a long time.
They have.
That's why I'm asking if we are missing it.
Well, I'm not happy. That should be their primary job.
The thing is, you might have an agency, but
which agency is this?
If they have funded.
So which agency is this, Asuko?
The Orientation Agency.
National. No. National Orientation Agency.
Charles,
agencies are supposed to.
Charles, if you are in doubt, go to Google. It will tell you. There's a DG National Orientation.
No, it's about DG is there. Now Atiku has gone to town, stoking the fire.
So it is the national.
It is the national. It's supposed to douse this fire. That's what I'm saying. But we are doing it now because national agency is not doing it.
But that is our work.
Okay.
We are doing our work. Okay then. So in taking this home, there's nothing to remove from what.
But what Atiku has done, he has also allowed people to understand what government wants to do. But as Asuko has said, opposition is just not to want to gain unnecessary popularity, wanting people to know that you exist. So at least you bring the facts out. This is what we have done if we're in government. That's opposition. If we're in government, this is what you ought to have done. This is what you're supposed to do. And that's exactly, instead of saying it as if people are going to steal.
Of course, I started by stating the rule. It is this: don't say in power what you say in opposition.
In opposition, that's it. I agree.
And every opposition politician must take heed.
Yeah.